Hey there guys and girls, how you doing today? Hopefully well, but if you found yourself here then maybe not too well, but that's okay. I'm here to help. So you're trying to finish at Act 4, maybe for the first time, maybe on No Hope, maybe even just on Nightmare to finish getting that 6th Wattskin you've been after. No matter what the case is, let's break it down. One of the few things about Act 4 that really suck is that it's only one level, so there actually tends to be a lot of cards that you might have in your deck for the other acts that you don't even need, like copper cards. Very important for Acts 1 through 3, Act 5, Act 6, but Act 4, not so much, because there's going to be little to no money sitting around for you to pick up. So, as you can see on the screen, I have my Act 4 deck. I conveniently ordered all the cards for you to be able to read them and grab them from the deck manager as quickly as possible. So if you want to pause your video and take a look at it now to add them, feel free. This is my AR deck, which I'm going to scroll down to where I've rearranged them. Basically, you're going to want maximum weak spot damage from all three of those cards, maximum DPS, obviously. Patient Hunter and Shredder are the extra cards that are going to help you a lot with DPS, as well as Glass Cannon if it wasn't already obvious. You're going to want to take On Your Mark, and the reason why is because there's going to be a lot of Horde tick-offs that the game isn't actually telling you about, because the Horde logo in the corner is going to say you have an infinite Horde, but they will still set off random Hordes randomly, and you'll still get the effect from this. I took cross trainers for the stamina and the regen because I like the regen. If you want to go with rhythmic breathing for the 40% extra stamina instead, feel free. You're definitely going to want to take EMT bag because you are going to most likely need to heal yourself. Don't think that you can do this flawlessly. The first two phases you can easily probably do flawlessly, but the final phase will kick your ass. Also, the reason why you want shoulder bag and double grenade pouch, because you're going to also want pipe bombs and you're going to need to throw them a couple different times where you're probably going to get overwhelmed. So if you are more into sniper rifles, you can swap the assault rifle card for the sniper rifle card, and I would also take out Shredder because you're not going to be shooting fast enough for it to matter. And for Shredder, I took cold brew coffee because it's just a great all-around buff, especially for when you're using a sniper. So the other thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use this cool guy right here, Jimbo, because he has an extra 10% weak spot damage for the entire team, as well as the 25% reload speed, which is going to help you if you're going to use an LMG or a sniper rifle. So let's get right down to getting into the campaign. We're going to do this on No Hope to show that this is viable. Obviously, the first thing you're going to want to do again is pick Jim. Now, if you're not playing on No Hope, maybe you're playing on Nightmare to get his Wattskin, or you're playing on something easier than that, you don't have to pick Jim if you don't really want to, or if it's not your favorite character. But if you're going to do it on No Hope, I would highly suggest him, again, for the reload speed and the team weak spot damage.
Times are wasted.
Now, this is the part where it gets interesting. We've got tall boys. Now, the exploders plus flingers, not that bad, but if you get tall boys or if you get slashers, I would highly suggest just re-rolling it, and you can easily do that by just readying up, leave the game, start it back up again. So you found a game that has no slashers, no tall boys. Now, if you're doing this and you're still having some trouble, still feeling from time to time, maybe the bots aren't doing well enough, getting killed early on, my best suggestion for that is to take squad armor. Now, squad armor will obviously give you armor as well as them, but really the thing that it does is it helps them from, you know, getting killed by just standing there and taking a big old hit from anything big that comes your way. And, you know, bots tend to do that. So, if you need to, give it a try. I'd say give it a try, maybe 2 or 3 before you actually try that, because you might not need it. So, what you're going to want to do is, you're going to need to make your own gun out of the salvage guns that you have on the ground here. So,
Never liked
I'm
flying
using a
much.
sniper for my run, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, Now make sure that you have something on everything just to be the most effective here. And what you're going to want to do is unbolt your gun. You want to take all these attachments off, drop them on the ground, and what you're going to want to do is swap them out for other attachments that you find on the guns on the ground that are gold until you have all gold attachments. I'm going to grab all the attachments that I need real quick, and then I'll be back to explain. Alright, this part's pretty obvious, but I'll explain real quick anyway. Obviously, you're going to want the best compensator that you can get, avoid recoil, have the best accuracy, try to get all your bullets to hit. Extended mag, not as important. What you really want is reload speed. My personal favorite is the one that has the reload speed and the 10% extra bullet damage. It's a little bit harder to come by, but in a second to that, I would always pick magazine size and reload speed, especially if you're doing a sniper. But either way, grab one with reload speed. Obviously, you always want a purple scope. I like to use the 4x1 no matter what gun I'm using, just because on the last phase it's easier to see closer in. You're definitely going to want ADS speed for your stock. If you have a sniper, if you have an LMG, it might not be as important, but it will also help you to get Patient Hunter to start ticking the 3 seconds a little bit faster. Otherwise, you want to grab most likely a Tech 9, the best one you can get. If you can set it up as well, you can feel free. It's going to take a little bit of extra time, but not that big of a deal. So, after you have your gun set up, you want to come over to the shop. Now, if you have any quick item upgrades or the quick item slot, you don't really need either one of those. You'll be fine without them. Not important, not anything that you really need to carry for this level. Now, if you have an offensive slot or a support item slot, buy that. If you have a support item upgrade or an offensive item upgrade, buy it. They'll both help. You can buy both of them and still afford to do everything that you need to do. So, what I'm going to suggest after that is buy up some plates, because you're definitely going to need them, and buy a bunch of med kits, fill up on pipes. What you're going to want to do is come out here, come to the top of the steps, but don't jump off. Just stand real close to the edge and drop your med kits off. Now, sometimes they'll get stuck right here, and if they do, that's alright, because if you stand on the dumpster down there, after you fall down, you can actually jump and still grab them from the ledge without needing to climb all the way back up. So if they get stuck there like that, you can still grab them. Now, I typically get about 10. I usually just do 3 trips. Sometimes it'll be 10, sometimes it'll be 12 because of the extra slot. Doesn't really matter. Other than that, the only other thing that I would suggest, if you're using an LMG, I would say to grab the ammo pouch. Sometimes you need it, most of the time not. But it's nice to have it if you need it, and there's nothing else you really need for that slot. Other than that, on your last grab some pills, and you're going to be ready to go. So the first place you're going to want to go when you jump down is going to be in that corner right there. Now, from this point on, I'm just going to play my clip of my run, and I'm going to kind of, narrate it and let you know what to do. So, like I said, the first thing you want to do, run to the pile of tires. You'll be mostly safe from zombies. The first tentacle you want to take out as quickly as possible. If it slams the ground, it will hit you. So just shoot it when it first opens its mouth, and you'll most likely be able to do enough damage before it slams you. After you knock it down, you're going to want to just stay on the tires for the horde. If you have a gas can there, you can throw it out and use it, or throw it out and save it for another horde. Your choice. After the first horde's over, if you stand next to this balcony but not directly under, you'll be safe from being hit when the second tentacle tries to slam the ground. You can also try to take it out before it hits you, but you can realistically do more damage to it after it slams the ground. And then you're going to want to run back to the tires, just like you're going to want to do after every tentacle takedown. For the third tentacle, you're going to want to kind of tuck yourself in the corner over here, and I like to crouch just for extra accuracy, but as long as you're in this corner, he can't hit you when he smacks the ground. So take this one out as quick as you can. Don't mind my atrocious aim and the fact that the bots had to stand in front of me the moment that I had the first shot. And then, after you take this one out, you're going to want to do the same thing like you do every other time. Come back to the tires, or even in the corner to the left of the machine. Okay, so for the final tentacle, you can run around, try to avoid the acid that is being spat everywhere. And if you come just to the first parking spot line, You're safe from the acid from the tentacle to the right of you spitting it, and you'll also be safe from being stomped on by the final tentacle. After you kill it, fortunately, there's no horde, so you can kind of get ready for what you're going to do next, and what you're going to want to do next is go back to where you had your heals. So, real quick before you move on to the next phase, you want to come back to your heals, grab them, and heal up your bots however they are, because the ride down and them standing at the bottom can easily get them killed, especially if they're already low on health. Hopefully you haven't used all your heals by now, so you'll still have some left. Once you're done, grab your pills and get ready. Once you're ready and healed up, you should use this ammo chest to grab any ammo you can. There may also be some randomly laying around on the level in some random spots. You can grab that as well, maybe even some attachments like we got over here. Usually nothing important or better than what you have, but maybe if you didn't set up your secondary completely, you could. So once you're healed and ready, got your ammo, you're going to jump down the same hole I am. Make sure that you have your gun out, because there may be a zombie or two waiting for you, like you saw. And you're going to just want to do your best to clear out this room without getting hurt. As you can see, I didn't do very good of a job. I got puked on almost immediately. But it's alright, because we made it through in the end. You want to stay on the right side, and you'll see in a second here, there's a spot against the wall that you're going to want to get into right there. If you see a little orange spot on the wall next to me, you'll know you're in the right spot. You want to just crouch next to it and stay there for as long as possible. What's going to happen now is the bots are going to do most of the work taking out the zombies. You can occasionally, like, you know, look around the room. If you hear them call out something big, make sure that you immediately start shooting at it no matter what you're doing. You got to punch zombies away, but focus on whatever big comes in the room first. And then take any chance that you get to shoot the weak spots when his mouth opens. Now you'll be safe here completely from any of the tentacles at any point. None of the puke will hit you, none of the slamming will hit you, but you may have to come out a little bit so that you can get a clear shot on the weak spot on the right side of his mouth. That's from the right side. There's only a couple points in his screen that you can actually see it and get a decent shot on. Now, if you're struggling to hit the weak spot on the right side, you can always just wait until you don't see a tentacle on the far right side. Wait for the first one to go before you step out, just in case it might be there and accidentally hit you anyway. You can creep out, take the shot, get it off, come over to this ammo chest, grab any ammo that you can, and you get ready for what's going to happen next. So at this point, the abomination is going to start crawling out of the hole. What you need to do is you need to stay here. You might have to hold it down immediately, you might not. It might only be a couple zombies. Some big stuff may also come, so just watch your back. If you see the spot that I'm aimed at right now, eventually a little bit of the weak spot will peek out. What you're going to want to do is shoot it as much as you can. Try to break it if you can. And once you break it, a horde will come. Just take care of that. Stay there. Do your best to try to also take out the weak spot that is on the top of his back.
Looks like that was your staff.
Because ideally you want to have both of them taken out before you jump down, but it's not the end of the world if you can't do it and you have to go a little bit early. So hopefully everything went well. You got the 2 weak spots taken care of. In my clip, I only got 1, but it's alright. What you're going to want to do is, once you kind of can't see him anymore, start chasing after him. Make sure that you take the path on the left side, because you can go the farthest without getting too close to him, and there's usually not that many zombies. If you have to throw a pipe at any time during this to get away from a crowd, do it whenever you have to. Just do your best to only have to do it for an emergency. You can come on this side and you can get from underneath. You can take out the left side weak spot as well as the bottom side weak spot. The bottom side one may be a little bit harder, and you are going to have to go around the abomination's tail to do that, which you need to be very careful for, because if he flails or you get too close to it, it will crush you and insta-kill you. Now, if you have plates, you can avoid it, like I did here, 2 different times. You're not always going to be fortunate enough to have all 4 of your plates, or even 1 or 2 by this point, so you have to be very careful. Don't bother to stop for the bots, because you're only probably going to do even worse for yourself. Now, at this point, the only weak spots that I have left are on the right side and the bottom, because I wasn't able to finish shooting it out. If you're able to finish shooting it out from that side and you already got the right side, then great, you already won. If not, You are going to have to come to the other side to get a clear shot of the right side. Otherwise, I'm not sure if you're going to have enough time. You might when you get to the other side of the tunnel, but I'll try to do it as quick as possible. Make sure you stay ready to quickly throw a pipe bomb, because as you can see, it's way too loud to hear the zombies come up, and they definitely will. But once you get that last shot, it's a GG's. I hope this helps. If it did, like and subscribe. Catch me on Twitch sometime. Until next time, kill it.